Hello and welcome. I'm Raghav and today we are going to learn something very easy and very interesting. And today we are going to integrate our Selenium testing with CI/CD using Jenkins. This is going to be very interesting and I will go very basic step by step. So here we are going to start with download and setup of Jenkins. We will learn how do we set up and download Jenkins. And do not worry if you are a complete beginner on Jenkins and you have never integrated any CI/CD anywhere in your project. I will start from scratch and teach you everything. We will also create a Jenkins project or a Jenkins job, and then we will run the Selenium tests from that particular job, and then we will learn how do we trigger tests on changes in project repository. So we want that whenever we make any changes in our project repository in our framework, the Jenkins project that runs the Selenium test should be triggered automatically and will run the tests. Okay, and we will also see how do we publish reports in Jenkins. Okay, now during this session I will also show you the things that you should you should keep in mind and take care, and the mistakes that I had done earlier I will also tell you so that you do not repeat the same mistakes. So let's get started and let us start with setting up of Jenkins. And step number one here is we will download Jenkins from the Jenkins website, that is jenkins.io. So here I am on my Windows system. So whether you are on Windows or Mac, you can just download Jenkins. So let me go to my browser and I will go to Jenkins download. Just search for Jenkins download and it will take you to this Jenkins website. So this is jenkins.io/download. Now here, if you scroll down, you will see this is the stable release of Jenkins, and you can see you can get Jenkins for all these platforms and operating systems. Okay, so if you want to install Jenkins as a software on your system, you can download it for your operating system from here and then run the installer and set it up like any software. But if you want it to be separate on your system and not want to install it but just want a WAR file and you can run Jenkins from a WAR file, then get this generic Java package .war. Okay, so this is what I will get from here. So just click here and it will start downloading, and it is very fast. So you can see it is already downloaded and it is here in my downloads folder. Okay, so for starting Jenkins, we just need Jenkins WAR and Java should be installed on our system. Okay, so in the starting session, we had already seen all these requirements of this Java and Maven we had seen in the very first video of this series. So I will go to my command prompt. So, and this is step number 2. Okay, so after you download jenkins.war file, step number 2 is we will start Jenkins using command java-jar jenkins.war. But before that, we will also check if Java is present on our system. Okay, so just open your command prompt or terminal if you are on Mac, and here you can just search java space -version and this should show you your Java version. Okay, just in case you do not find this, you can check my first session or other sessions are there where I have shown you how to set up and install and set Java. Now I have to first go to the location of my Jenkins WAR folder. So wherever is your Jenkins WAR, you can go to that location. In my case, it is in the downloads folder. So I can just start it from here. I will say cd and go to the downloads folder. So you can see now I am on my downloads folder, and here I will run the commands. I will run the command java-jar and then I will say Jenkins. So if you press tab on your keyboard, it should autocomplete because this file is present in the downloads folder itself. Okay, so it is saying jenkins.war. Now you can run this command directly and it will start Jenkins server on the default port, that is 8080. But just in case you want to change the port, in case port 8080 is not available or for any reason if you want to change the port, you can also add to this command --httpPort whatever port number you want. So let me show you. So this should also work. You can just hit enter now when this should start, but let me show you the how do we change the port as well. So I am saying I am adding to this command http port, and this is case sensitive, so make sure that you type in the right way. It is http all in lowercase and then port, in which p is uppercase and ort equals whatever port number you want. Okay, so let's say I will say equals 8282 and hit enter. So this will take care of setting up Jenkins and starting the Jenkins server. Okay, now here just one thing that you can check is the Java version you are having, in case it is compatible with the version of Jenkins you are using. Okay, and for that you can also check Jenkins Java compatibility, and you will find this Java support policy from Jenkins. So you can see all the supported version Java 17 or 21 for the version of Jenkins you are using. You can check here. Okay, so you should get this message here, Jenkins is fully up and running, and also you will see there is a admin password that you will have to use when you start Jenkins for the first time. It is shown here. You can copy from here, or you can also get it from this location. So in my case it is c users administrator dot jenkins secrets initial admin password. Okay, so let me just copy this password, and now I have already started Jenkins, which was step number 2. Now I can go to step number 3 is we will open the browser and go to localhost, and this port number should be the same port number that you have used while starting Jenkins. Okay, so in our case, let me go to my browser and I will say http. You can directly say localhost, it should take the rest of the things, and colon localhost colon the port number. So I started on 8282, so that is what I will use, and hit enter, and this should show you the Jenkins UI. Okay, so you can see we have got Jenkins up here, and this is the first screen you should get, that is to unlock Jenkins, where you will add your password. So you can copy it from the command prompt or from this location, and then copy it, paste it here, and continue. Now here we have got two options: install suggested plugins or select plugins to install. So we can go with the suggested plugins for now. So just click here and it will install all the suggested plugins. Now in this list you will see there is a Git plugin as well. This is what we will need later on, so it is already installing it, so we will not have to install it separately. There are a few plugins that we will need, so I will show you how do we get those plugins after we start Jenkins. Okay, so this is almost done. It has added all the required or basic plugins, and now we have got this page to create the first admin user. So let me very quickly create a user for myself and save and continue. Okay, and now you can see Jenkins is ready, and this is the location or URL where we can access it. I will say save and finish, and Jenkins is set up completely and is ready. So I will say start using Jenkins. Alright, so we have got our Jenkins up and running now. Okay, so here this is the UI. You can see here we can create new jobs or project by clicking on this new item, and we can see build history. We have manage Jenkins, manage views, and you can see some of these options are here that you can explore: creating a job, setting up agent, etc. So we will now go to step number 4, which is install required plugins in Jenkins. So based on our project and based on our requirement, we need the Maven integration plugin, the TestNG Result plugin, and Git plugin. So for this I will go to manage Jenkins here, and this will show me this manage Jenkins page, and here we can see we have the plugins option. So go to plugins, and here you can see we have available plugins, installed plugins, and then advanced settings, etc. So if I go to installed plugins, here all the plugins which are already installed on my system, on my Jenkins, will be shown, and we have options here to enable or disable them. Okay, so for example, we need the Git plugin. So if I just search here, you can see Git plugin is already here. Okay, and the other plugins, Maven and TestNG, let us see. So if I say Maven integration or Maven, it is not here, and then for TestNG also it is not here. So this we will have to get from available plugins. So go to available plugins, and I will search for Maven integration. And yes, it is here. So check it, and I will click on install, and you can see it is installing. So all the required plugins or dependencies, it will install here, and this is success. I will go back to available plugins, and then I will have to get the TestNG Results plugin. So I will search for TestNG result, and yes, we have got it here. So again I will check and install it. Okay, so it is getting added to Jenkins, and it is done. So we have got our plugins. If you want, you can also check it in the installed plugins. Now we should have our Maven and TestNG here. Okay, so we have it here. I will go back to my my Jenkins dashboard, and now step number 5 is we have to configure Maven and Java in Jenkins. So we have to allow Jenkins to use our Maven or Java from our system, or we can also install it automatically. So let me show you how. We will have to go to manage Jenkins and global tool configuration. So you can go to manage Jenkins, and here it is tools. So see, these terms, global tool configuration was used in the earlier versions of Jenkins, but now it has a little bit of UI has changed. So now we call it as tools. So whether you are using older version, there you will have global tools configuration. In the latest version, we have tools. So just go to tools here, and here you can scroll down, and you can see we have JDK here, then Git is here, then we also have Maven here. So let us first go to JDK. I will click on add JDK, and now you can say we have option to install automatically. So this is option is here, and I can say here JDK 17 because I have 17 on my system. But if I don't want to install automatically, I will have to give the location of my JDK folder, so which is my Java home. So I will go to my this JDK folder. So in case you don't have it, you can also say install automatically. That will should also work, but I will just give it here. And same thing I will do for Maven. I will click on add Maven, and if I check my Maven that is on my system, I will check here. We have Maven 399. This is the Maven home folder. So I will say Maven 3.9.9, and I will, so you can say install automatically and it will install from Apache, but otherwise I can also tell it to use from my system from here. Okay, so I will say apply and save. Okay, so we have added and configured Java and Maven in Jenkins, but now we also need to check whether it is able to get Java and Maven. So for that we will have to verify using command Java version and Java space hyphen version and mvn space hyphen version. So this is step number 6. So here I will, for checking, I will create a job. So I'm going to my dashboard, and to create a job, or we also call it creating a project or creating a job in Jenkins, I will go to new item and I will click on Freestyle project, and I will say just verify Java Maven. Now do not worry that why I am getting this auto suggestion for this name. This I am getting because earlier on this system I used Jenkins and I used the same name. That's why it has kept it in its memory or cache. But that's all okay if you don't get any of these auto suggestion. It's a freestyle project and I will say okay. And here it will take us to the job configuration page, and here you can see this is a job configuration page. We have general section, source code management, triggers, environments, build setup, build steps, and post build actions. So in the build step I will select and say execute Windows patch command. If you are on Mac or Linux, you can say execute shell, and here I will just say here java space hyphen version and mvn space hyphen version. So these are the commands, and I can also say here, just to print on the console, I can say echo, and I will say java version is, and I will run this, and similarly here I will say echo maven version, and I will run this maven ambient version command. So apply and save, and I will click on build now. Also, if you want, if you just go to the dashboard, you will also get a option to build from there. So now if you go to dashboard, you will see this job is here and we have this run button here. So you can do it from here, run from here, or just go to the job and click on build now. Okay, so this will start the build or start the run of this job, and this is done. You can see it is done here. Click on this, and if I see the console output, you can see Java version here, and here did it run the actual command? Let me check here. No, I think the mistake was I will have to go back to the job and configure. I should keep the commands in the next line, so this should come in the next line. That's how it will take it as a separate command. Okay, it took everything as echo command. So now I will say build now, run again, and this is here. If I click on this progress bar, I should see the console output, and yes, you can see here I am getting the Java version, and here also I am getting the Maven version. That means this is now set for Jenkins. Java and Maven is set for Jenkins. Okay, now after this we are done with Jenkins. The setup of Jenkins is complete. Now we will start with setting up our Selenium tests to be run for Jenkins, to be run on Jenkins in a Jenkins job. So step number 1 is, here we will create a new job or a new project. So I will go back to my Jenkins dashboard and click on new item here, and here I will say, I'll give some name to the job, run Selenium tests. Okay, keep it a freestyle project, and then you can also see, if you scroll down, we also have an option to copy a job. You can just give a job name which is already there and copy from that job, but as of now we are creating a new job, a freestyle project, and say okay. Okay, so we have got the job configuration page. Now step number 2 is, we will go to the source code management part and go to Git and enter our repository URL. Okay, so here we have got our source code management, here we will say Git, and this option you will get only after you have added the Git plugin. Okay, and here I will give the repository URL. So if I go to this, if I go to GitHub, this is my project, this is my repository. Okay, and I can just copy this repository URL from here and give it in the repository URL field here. Okay, let me, yeah, it's here. Okay, so the reason we are giving it here is we want that whenever we run the job, it should take the latest project from this repository URL and then run it, and by doing this we will be independent of our local system. So now I can set up this Jenkins anywhere on any system, any remote system. We don't have to keep it on our local system. We are not dependent on our local system or any system where we have our project. It will take it from the repository and run our project. Okay, now credentials, again, if it is a private repository you will have to add the credentials, but in case it is public you can skip it. Okay, if I go to advanced, we have options here, some more options. Also in Jenkins you will find these question marks, that is the help feature. So if you click on this question mark, you will get the details about that particular field. Okay, so if you want you can check these. As of now I don't have to do anything here. Branches to build, master is okay, all this is fine. Okay, so we have done step number 2. Now step number 3 is we will go to triggers and go to poll HCM. So what is this? I will go to triggers. So this is how do you want to trigger this job. Do you want to trigger it remotely from some scripts? Do you want to build this job after some other projects are built? So if you check this, you will have to give the name of the project after which you want to build this or run this. If you want to build periodically or run periodically, you can give the schedule here. So let's say you want to run it every day or maybe every hour or on Wednesday or weekends, whatever you want, you can give the schedule here. And here you can click on this question mark and it will help you how can you give the schedule. So you can see how you can do it. Also you can check online. Let's say you want to run it every day, you can just search for how do I build my job every day in Jenkins, and you will get the script, or you will get the this how do we add the schedule, this particular thing, how do you get it from, how do you add it here. Okay, now we also have option for GitHub hook trigger, and then we have poll SCM. Poll SCM is, let's say you have configured a repository like we have done here, and you want that whenever any changes are done to the repository or whenever any new push is done to the repository, it should run this job. So it will keep on checking for whatever interval you give here. It will keep on checking the repository if there is any new push event. So I will check this, and here we have got an option to give the schedule. Again you can check this, and this is how we will give the schedule here. So let's say I will say here h/5. So what does this mean is, let me show you h/5, and then I will give star 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 star. Okay, so if I say this, okay, so you can see after you give this, and if this is correct format, it will actually show you what does it mean. So it says it should have run last on Wednesday March 12 at this time, and then it would run next on Wednesday March 12 at this particular time, and that means it is going to run, or it is going to check every 5 minutes. Okay, so this is what we are doing here. Every 5 minutes it will check the repository, and if it finds any new push event, it will run this job. Okay, let me make it 2 for now, for just for this demo. Otherwise you can make it as per your requirement, every hour, every day, weekly once, or whatever is your requirement. Okay, so we have done step number 3. Now step number 4 is we will add the build steps. So here go to build steps. Okay, and here in the build step we will say invoke top level Maven targets, and this option you should see once you have added the Maven integration plugin. So I will check this, I will click this, and here it is asking us for the Maven version. So this is what we had already set. So we are going to use this, and the goals is we have to run mvn clean test. So here we will say clean test. Okay, and if I go to advanced, you can see it is asking us for POM properties and all this. So that is fine. It should take it directly from our project. And then step number 5 is we will go to post build actions, and here we will add the options to publish TestNG results and archive artifacts. Okay, so let me go to post build actions here, and here we have options. So you can see all these options are here, and publish TestNG results will come only after you have added the TestNG Results plugin. So this is what I will use here. Okay, and then here you can give the folder path where you will get your TestNG results XML. So if I check my project, okay, this is my project. If I go to this test output, and here you can find this TestNG results.xml. Okay, so this is what we will need to show results on Jenkins job. So this is what I'm going to use. You can also do a right click here and copy it from here, from the properties. This is what we need. Test output, this part is we need, and the rest of the part we don't need to give, because this will be the project folder. So we have to give relative to the project folder. So here also this should also work. So what it is saying, what it is star testng -results.xml, this should also work, because it is saying just go to this second level from the project folder and then find a file testng -results.xml. So this should also work. Otherwise, if you want it to be even more faster, you can give the actual path, which is this part, test output -testng results.xml. And then we also want to archive this artifacts target surefire reports. So you can also give this here, add post build actions again, and here we have archive the artifacts, and here I will say we'll add this target /surefire reports /star.html. So what does this refer to? If I go to my folder, so whenever you run this job, let me cancel this. Once you run this job in this target folder, we will get this surefire reports, and then we will get the HTML report where that we will here archive this artifact. Okay, now for now what we want is, so we have done this, let us save and run this job manually first, and then we will also check if it runs after we add something in our repository. Okay, so let me just click on apply and save, and I will click on build now, and if you can see this is running. If you click on this progress bar, it will directly take you to this console output. So let us check if it is first able to get our project from the repository. So you can see it is getting our project. You can see this was our last commit message, email code added. You can also check this here. This was our last commit message, email code added. So it is getting this from the repository, which is fine. And now let us see if it is able to run our test. And just in case you want to check where it has copied or where it has downloaded the project from the repository, that you can check from here. So you can see this is where it will add it. It is the job, it will be the job folder. You can see this will be the job folder here. Okay, in the, you can just copy this folder and also check that if it has downloaded the project there. So this is the Selenium this is the Jenkins workspace where you can see these are the jobs. So our job is run Selenium tests, and here if you open it, you can see our project is downloaded from the repository here, and now it is running our tests. Now here we have got a failure. It says fail to execute goal on project. So it needs this Lombok processor. Okay, so I think this is needed. If we add this dependency, Lombok dependency, it should work fine. Okay, so this is okay. We can add this, and also by doing this, we can check after we add this and push our project to the repository. We can come here and check if it triggers the Jenkins job automatically after our push to the repository. Okay, so let us check. I will go to my project on the system and go to my pom.xml file. And here I will add the dependency for Lombok. Let me close others. Okay, so here I will go to the end, and first let us go to the Maven repository and search for the Lombok library, and you can see this is project Lombok, and go here, and I'm going to take the latest version, copy the dependency, the Maven dependency, and paste it in pom.xml. I'm pressing Ctrl A to select everything, and then Ctrl plus Shift plus F to correct the formatting. And now I will save my project. You can see it is getting the dependency and saving it. Okay, and now to push this to the repository, all the changes to the repository, I will go on command line and go to the project folder location first. So let me just copy the project folder location, and now I will click on Control N to create a new or use a new command prompt. I can get it from here also. So I have to first go to the location of my project folder. My project folder is on D drive, so first I will change the drive saying D colon and hit enter. I'm on my D drive now. Now I will say cd, means change directory, and give the location of my project folder. And now I will say git status. All this we have learned in the git session, so I'm just pushing the changes. You can see pom.xml was modified. I will say git add dot, means add all the changes, and then git commit -m and give the message Lombok dependency added, and then I will say git push -u origin, and this should push the changes. Okay, I think the commit was wrong. You can see I missed this. The spelling of commit was wrong. I will have to give this again, and then I will have to push. That's why it is saying everything is already up to date. It is this. Okay, now I will say git push -u origin, and this is done. If I go and check my repository, you can see here this is the new change added just now. And if I go and check my job on Jenkins, let us see if it triggers. It should trigger a new run because there is a change, a push in the repository. It checks every 2 minutes, so we can wait for some time and then check if it runs this job. And yes, you can see it is saying it has started this second run, and this is triggered automatically. I have not manually ran this. This is running because we have committed and pushed changes to our repository. So you can also see it is taking this latest change, Lombok dependency added, and now it is running. Let us see if it is able to run the tests now. Yeah, it is starting the tests. Okay, everything looks okay until now. And yes, starting WebDriver. And yes, it opens the browser and is running our test and closing the browser. And let us see, it says build success, and we also get the finished success for job. So if I go back to my job here, you can see here it is done. The second run was successful, it was able to run. Also now you will see TestNG results. Okay, and this is because we had added in post build actions TestNG results, and here you can see the TestNG result trend, and here you don't find anything here until now because we just have a single result from TestNG. Once you run few more runs, you should see the trend here. Okay, so for that, let me just click on build now again. So we will have one more run and then you can see the TestNG result trend here. Okay, here where we can see failed, passed, skipped, etc. So it is running here. Okay, so this is running and closing the browser. Okay, now this is done. If I go back to my job, you can now see this is the trend now, and you can check this here. Okay, you can also see the details of the tests here. Okay, and all the details you will find here. Okay, so this is fine. Now you can see this is all looking green because everything is passed. What happens if something fails? So for that, let me go back to my project just to show you that even if there is a failure, we should get the details here. I will go to the login test. Okay, and here let us say this is the test it is running. As of now we have a single test, which is fine. Let us say I will change something here. I will say ABCD, the title, where I am verifying the title. I am making some changes here, and I will save and push this project to my repository. So here, if I say git status, I am pressing the up arrow on my keyboard just to get the earlier commands. You can see we have got these changes in the login test.java. I will say git add dot, and then I will say git, and I will say commit and -m, and I will say test updated, and then I will say git push -u origin. Okay, so I'm pushing this and this is done. If I check my repository, it should show me here. You can see test updated has come here, and now I will check if it triggers my job again. So it should now run the fourth run of this job, and it will check in every 2 minutes. So let's wait. I can also go back to the dashboard just to refresh and come here, and I can click here just to make sure and refresh if it is running now. And yes, you can see now it is in quiet period and it should start the fourth run. Okay, and yes, you can see the fourth run is started. If I go here, you can see here the commit message test updated. So it will now take the latest project from the repository, and which should fail because we have made some changes in our test that should fail. It should start the tests now. And yes, opens the browser. And okay, so this should now fail. And yes, you can see this is the failure. Okay, and here, so we have got a failure, which is fine. We knew that this should fail. Okay, because we don't have just a moment ABCD in the title, but this is the page title. Okay, now let us see if I go back to my job and see the TestNG results. Okay, here you can see what has happened is it is still showing me the TestNG trend, result trend until the build 3 or run 3 of this job. The reason is as the job fails, it does not run the post build actions. So I will have to configure and fix that. So I will, let's go back to the configuration page of this job, and in the post build action you can see this is what we needed, but this does not run because the build step failed. So in the build step, either you can say clean test or true. This you can check this command. If this works, it's good. Or you can also give the command in the Maven command. You can say let me show you. You can say mbn and this is what I can give, clean test, and before that I can say ignore failure true, and we don't need mbn there, so I will just start from here, d maven test fail ignore true and clean test. So I'm doing this so that the post build actions where we have configured our TestNG report should always run. So let me say apply and save, and I will say build now. So this is the 5th run, and I'm doing this just to check that even after failure we should get our data added in the report. Okay, so it has started the test. Opens the browser and running the our test, and we know this should fail. Okay, this is failed, and but you can see here it is calling it as unstable, not failed, because we have made the changes. And now if I go, you can see we are able to see the details of failures as well here. Okay, and also there is another plugin called Test Result Analyzer plugin that will show you really good graphs from your result, and for that you just need to just go to your dashboard and go to manage Jenkins and plugins and add the Test Result Analyzer plugin. Go to available plugins and just search for analyzer. You should see this result analyzer plugin, and you can see it says it is up for adoption, so that's okay. It just means that it will not have any new changes or updates, but that's fine. We can still use it. You can install it, and then once it is installed we will be able to see it, and we don't have to do anything now. We don't have to configure it. If you already have any TestNG results already configured in your job, or JUnit results already configured in your job, it will directly take it. So you can see, just refresh your project, and now you can see we have got this test results analyzer plugin or test results analyzer option here. We have not made any changes in our job. It comes every time once we have already configured the reports and results in our project in our post build actions. And if I go here, you can now see this is how you can see your tests. I will say expand all, and you can see all the details. So you can see this was our first run, second run, third run, fourth run, fifth run. Everything has come here. You can also see all these details here. Okay, so this was test valid login which failed 60% or passed 60% of the times. Okay, this was our login test, all these details, and you can see the recent build that failed, times it failed, and then we have got the build status. So you can see here pass failed and skipped and total, and all these are filters. So let's say if I don't want to see skipped and total, or let's say I just want to say total and passed, and I want to say total and failed, all this you can filter it from here. Again, here we have all options, failed and passed, skipped, etc. Again, you can see the build status, skipped, passed, failed, all this you can check from here. Okay, so this is how you can also configure the test result analyzer plugin. Okay, step number 7 I have added just what we did earlier. In case the Maven commands, in case the post build actions do not run on test failure, if any test fails and the post build actions to configure the reports does not work on failure, you can update your Maven commands to this clean test true, or if this does not work, you can get this, which I have already shown you. Okay, so this is how you can configure Jenkins. You can set up Jenkins and run our Selenium tests from Jenkins CI. I hope this was useful. Thank you for watching and never stop learning.